Hi and welcome back to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben and I'm reviewing Alice in Borderland, a new Netflix original live adaptation of an anime review. Now's your chance to let me know in the comments below. Have you seen the original animation? Do you know of this, or are you going into this afresh? Do let me know in the comments. Give this video a thumbs up. It does really help us. But for now, let's jump into the review. A group of bored delinquents are transported to a parallel wasteland as part of a survival game. That is the IMDb synopsis for us, and that is very loose on what this is actually about. There is 8 episodes, about 50 minutes a piece. I would definitely say watch it in the original language. I watched the first half of the first episode in the dubbing, and it's not great. It really doesn't put you in the zone. The translation, if you're watching with the subtitles as well, also isn't correct. So you have them say words like Jesus, and the actual character in the subtitles will say what. There is a translation because sometimes you just don't have the correct words to say in the correct language, but they don't translate as well. So wherever possible, I would say watch in the original language, read the subtitles. That's far better, and in this one particularly it is far better. I'm not gonna try and pronounce the names, but I do like the main protagonists. We start with 3 at various different moments in their life. One has mom issues, one has family issues, and one has girlfriend issues or work issues, and they all come across the, like, you know, you have the really smart one that is the gamer, you have the working one that is being used by his mom, you have the guy that really likes his girl but he has a terrible boss, and they kind of caricatures of anime characters. Obviously the anime goes into a lot more depth with these characters, but right at the beginning you kind of get the gist and understanding of what these characters are. I will say that whenever there's a live adaptation of an anime particularly, I'm always worried because there's so much heart and attention and detail, especially when it comes to animation. You can mostly do a lot because you're not really constrained by budgets. If you want to do big action, you know, you have to draw it. There is some budgetary issues there, but not nearly like what it is if you have to do it in live action. So there's always that worry, and then having characters portray characters that you know and love, that is always going to be difficult. So I think for fans that love the original, you're going to be going into this worried. I think for people that are coming into this afresh, you would have seen the trailer and gone, that looks really unique. So if you're coming into this fresh, I think you're going to love this right from the first episode. If you've seen films like The Hunger Games or read the books, if you've seen films like, showing my age now, The Cube, where a group of people get trapped in a room and they have to figure out a way and the traps are deadly, then you kind of know what that is. Add a little bit of anime manga scripting or dialogue, you know, the quirky cheesiness, fun stuff that you have, that does come into play, although it is very dark for the most of the time. Whenever there's levity, then you are inundated with true anime style with more darkness and doom. That's what happens in this series, and each episode is basically like the deck of cards like you had in the original. It all lingers on how much time you get in this world. It feels like there's nobody left in the city, and your city is now a game of deadly traps. So each episode is you having to survive a bunch of games. And why would you play these bunch of games? Because it gives you a visa to be able to live in this city that is a deadly game now. And so depending on how good you are at games and who you've got with you helping you is basically dependent on whether you're going to live. So, you know, there are really interesting games. The first one is a very cube reminiscent. The second one is tag, and so on and so forth. I don't want to give the games away, but it is a lot of fun. It also is really tense pretty much the whole way through. Even when you think it lets up, it's always developing more stories. So if you've come into this afresh, you're going to be intrigued pretty much the whole way through, and then you'll hit that ending, you'll be like, whoa, what's gonna happen? I'll do a separate video on the ending because I want to talk about that. The acting I thought was pretty good. I think the protagonists hold your attention a lot. There's some that you will immediately like and hope that they survive, and there's some that you hate and hope they don't survive. You meet some interesting characters along the way. They are not the only 3. I mean, that much would be evident. Anything like this storyline always happens. You know, it would be boring if there was nobody else. So I don't think that's a spoiler. If you've seen the trailer, you understand The way it looks as well, I thought the cinematography is actually pretty good. The mix with CGI that you get sometimes from this is also pretty good. I love the intro, the music and the tone. It all kind of sets you in the zone, in the mood of what you expect from this series. It really is. If you take the old film, Cube, Hunger Games, add some manga, add this original storyline, then it's pretty much what you get. It is a lot of fun and it's really tense. Like if you were looking for something fresh, I feel like it's fairly fresh. Although we've had ideas like this before, the way it's put together is a lot of fun. So I didn't mind this adaptation. I actually thought it was really good. I think it's worth your time. I don't think it outstays its welcome either. It doesn't get boring. It doesn't take its time to get to those next bits. You understand the character's plight. It really puts the characters against each other at certain points, and you feel like, okay, who am I choosing here? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? I think that's really a clever dynamic because it makes you like the characters, and then it makes you choose like which characters, and then you're definitely guessing who you think is going to survive in the end. And every now and again, where you think the story is going, or you think you've figured out the puzzle, then it kind of throws a spanner in the works, which keeps it fresh, which keeps it really fun. I really like trying to figure out how they're going to get out of each puzzle. I think that situation is really fun. So you're along the ride with them. You're willing them to like, no, don't do that. Don't be stupid. Or you might feel stupid sometimes when they figure out something. You're like, wait, I didn't see that coming. And that's what I think is really interesting about this series. So if you can handle the subtitles, I think you're going to enjoy the series a lot. It's definitely worth taking time, putting it on your list. It is something different. If you have to go for the dubbing, then I think you, after a while, you'll get used to the voices. The voices aren't right for where they live. So I think they have American accents and they're meant to be Japanese. So at least they could have got Japanese actors to have an accent relative to where they are from, and not American accent. So it just doesn't vibe. It doesn't fit the tempo, the tone, which is why I always kind of go, if that's the case, go for the original. It does really heighten that sense of nuance. The characters are able to show you what they're trying to get across to the audience much more easily, because obviously it's in the original. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. I'm going to give this a solid B+. I think it's got room to grow if they're going to do more. I don't know if they will. But do chat to me in the comments below. Let me know, what is your favorite anime live adaptation? I think it's very interesting that we're finally getting ones that might be really good. That if we've hit a stride, that we're no longer getting the crappy ones, because we've had a few crappy ones in the past. We've had adaptations of Full Metal Alchemist was okay, but not great, and nowhere near as great as the actual anime was. The Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite rather than the original. Don't hate me. And so I want to see others developed if they're good. What were you hoping that they left out? If you're a fan of the original, I'd love to chat to you in the comments. Do chat to me there. Let me know if you enjoyed this. What would you rate it, and what is your favorite live adaptation from an anime or a manga? Thanks so much for watching this, but most of all, until next time, remember, live long Tuesday.